I'm Steve.
And I'm Laurie.
And on today's video, we're going to talk about Trump's relationship with Ukraine and Russia. Maybe not. Maybe we'll leave that for the next video. What do you think, dear?
Yes, we have to.
Okay, I'm banned from talking about that today. Well, today we're going to talk about this thing instead. And I'm going to outline the good and the pros and the cons about using or converting a four-wheel drive tractor like this one to a log skidder and using it as a log skidder. So I hope you tune in and watch the whole video with me. Okay, so you might have a tractor like this at home and you might be contemplating the idea of using it as a log skidder. My opinions on it simply is probably not a good idea. You're probably better off going and buying yourself a used log skidder and using that. But it really gets back to how much wood you've got to pull out. If you've only got a pretty small amount, well, I guess you could probably get away with using your tractor for it. But I'll outline the reasons why I say it's not a good idea to use a modified farm tractor as a log skidder. And the first reason I say it is the obvious one, and that is this type of machinery is not articulated. It's on a rigid frame. Okay guys, now the obvious one is farm tractors or front wheel assist four-wheel drive tractors are not articulated, okay? So they're a rigid frame. And the problems with that is that obviously, you know, when you're trying to make your way through a forest area, it's very difficult because the front wheels the back wheels, don't follow the front wheels. So you're always cutting the corners, so you're more inclined to stake tires on the back especially. And when you're pushing, you know, your way through the environment, you probably tend to you know, obviously you have to do it 2 times sometimes, where you can just, if you're in a log skidder or an articulated machine, you can just do it in the one pass. Okay, and the second problem with having a machine that's a rigid frame in comparison to an articulated type machine is that they always have to be shorter in the wheelbase, okay? And the manufacturers make them like this for the simple reason that if they don't, they'll need a really big turning circle to turn them. So your front wheel assist type tractor, rigid frame, will always be shorter in the wheelbase for its horsepower and weight than what you know, a comparison articulated machine will be. It'll always be a lot longer in the wheelbase. And simply the reason for that is, like I said, it just takes too big a turning circle to turn them around. The other problems with farm tractors is that they don't come with forestry tires, they don't come with forestry guarding. So they don't have any forestry protection over the top of the machine. They don't have any forestry protection under the machine or around the machine. They're too open, so, you know, unless you're going to be prepared to spend a lot of money on fabrication and put plates and whatever else around them to stop the, you know, sticks and trash coming up through them, well, then obviously you've got to be either very careful or you do find that occasionally something will come up and tear something off. So again, there's another reason. But I mean, they're all things that are reasons why the farm tractor type idea and using it in logging really is not the best option, I don't think, for most applications. Okay, so you can see here all the fabrication work that I've done to this particular tractor before I took it into the forest to try and drag out some logs with it. And it's a lot of work, it's a lot of expense these days, and everything had to be strengthened up. Of course, this is only a Chinese brand tractor, and probably if you had have purchased a you know, maybe a big American brand or possibly a European brand, you may not have had to do quite as much as this. But I had to build I had forestry attachment, if you're logging attachment, for the back of the 3-point linkage here that you can see. And again, I did actually specially order this particular tractor with extra heavy duty tires. The back tires here are 20 ply nylons, I think, and the front ones are radials. But again, they're still not forestry, you know, special tires for working in forestry application with. So whether they're as good as forestry tires, I doubt it. But you can see the sort of work that you have to do to. And I haven't even finished this. I still have to build some forest protection over the top here and maybe around the side of the cab. to also give a bit extra protection, and possibly some plates underneath in a couple of places. So yeah, you can sort of see the amount of work and cost that is involved in it. You're probably better off just going purchasing a used log skidder, as I said, with all this equipment already, and start snigging your first snig. Okay, so this is Laurie's idea about what she thinks about the tractor. It's for what we paid, I guess, that, you know, it comes with its problems, as all Chinese machines do. This one's 180 horsepower, but it's actually sitting on the 240 horsepower chassis, which is a lot heavier chassis than what a normal 180 horsepower tractor would be of this size. I think this one weighs in about 8.5 ton total. That was before I started putting any attachments on it. But as you can see, a lot of people probably think that, you know, tractors can be used again for heavier duty applications, front wheel assisted tractors. But as you can see, the whole front end is very light. And if you're gonna put a dozer or something like this one's got on, or maybe a front end loader, and use it like it's a wheel loader, or use it like it's a dozer, you're gonna have trouble with this front end because it's pretty light. And all these types of tractors are all the same. That front end is really only built for giving assist when the tractor is ploughing with something behind and it starts to lose traction, and then you can engage your front differential, and it will do the job to get you out of a tight situation. But most of the time the manufacturers only really mainly intend for you to use this tractor in probably two-wheel drive, and then occasionally engage your four-wheel drive or your front wheel assist here. So again, that's another downfall with the front wheel assist tractors. They're not actually a true four-wheel drive. Laurie's just going to give her opinion on what she thinks about the tractor in general. What do you think up there, dear?
Well, not too bad actually. I think I can drive this. You know why? Because the seat,
you can reach the pedals, can you?
like it's an Asian.
It is actually all adjustable. It probably would have been quite a nice cab, but we ordered it without the air conditioning because we were using it for forestry application, and eventually I'm going to put forest guarding on the side of it. So I'll just give you a bit of a look there of everything. Say hello.
Hi everyone. Yeah.
Not too bad, darling.
Not too bad for
Not too bad for the money, but yeah, it does come with its problems. I have had some problems with it, mostly only minor problems, but you know, they're all problems that you've got to consider if you're going to buy or purchase a cheaper Chinese brand tractor. Then you've got to remember that you've probably got to be prepared to do some work on it. May not necessarily have if you bought a John Deere or a New Holland or Case or something like that. But it is all old school mechanical, so I guess it's got that going for it. You may not have as many electrical problems with it as what you do with some of this later model equipment that they build these days. But anyway, we'll be putting it through its paces very soon. We're going to go and skid up a few logs with it, snig, pull up, drag, whatever. No matter where you come from in the world, they've got different names for what I'm about to do. We call it snigging here in Australia. In America, they call it dragging or skidding logs, I think. So, but you know what I'm talking about if I refer to it as snigging, if you hear me say those sort of terminology.
So you grease it every time you use the tractor?
Usually once a day. If it's dusty, I do, yeah.
Okay. How much grease do you use?
In a year or?
Now. The whole.
I use that in about, I usually get about 4 or 5 grease intervals out of one of these tubes or cartridges, if you'd like to call them that. I've got two over there. Okay, so all these drags that we're doing here, I'm going to only be in 2-wheel drive. I only put the tractor in 4-wheel drive when I really need to. And even when I was pushing those logs together in the loading ramp, I was only in 2-wheel drive also. These 2 logs I'm snigging here at the moment, one's about 2.5 cubic metres and the other one's around about 1.5 cubic metres. So there's about 4 cubic metres there total, or about 1,700 board feet if you're in America. Okay, earlier I spoke about the front wheel assist tractors being short in the wheelbase to enable them to turn shorter. And of course the downfall of that is that they actually can only snig a lot less because they're so short in the wheelbase. If this was a 8.5 ton log skidder, articulated log skidder, it would be a lot longer in the wheelbase, and for its weight and horsepower would be able to snig a lot more, and especially if you're going uphill like I am in this situation here. So I put the log up the front to give me a bit more ballast up the front. But considering this tractor is probably around about the same weight as a 240 size timberjack, or maybe a 540B John Deere log skidder, well then you can sort of see, you know, the comparison there is the tractor is not really anywhere near a log skidder for its weight and horsepower. Don't you like being a star?
No. Hi.
Take this finger. So it's 42 over. 42 over it is, darling.
I should have my gloves on. Okay. Write it down there.
Very wide, huh? 84 by 50, this one.
84B50. So that's 84B50.
He's the biggest out of all of those.
Full. if you have a look around, this is where the truck's gonna get those logs. So by the time we finish here, hopefully we will have a load for the truck to come tomorrow or sometime this week, next week. She's a little one. Look at that. It's a little log. It's 2.7 meters. And the diameter is 36.
So Laurie's trying to work out how old this log is here, or this tree was before I cut it. We think it's about 70 years old, but it could be a little bit older than that.
Could be 8.
They're very difficult to see the growth rings in the spotted gums.
They're 80 years old.
About 80 years old, she thinks.
Yep.
Is that your way of girthing the log?
Yeah. You don't like this? It's not big. It is 80 years old.
It's big. Anyway.